You see this March for Science over the weekend? You know, how absurd. It wasn't a march for science. It was another anti-Trump, pro-Democrat Party rally is all it was. And it's trying to unite people who accept the politicized values of science. Everywhere I look, I see the Democrat Party flailing away, not connecting. I'm telling you, if it weren't for the drive-by media, and that's a big part of this. If it weren't for the drive-by media, if the media were just, let's put it this way, if the media were 40%, 30% less partisan than it is, if they were only 60% all in for the Democrats would be in deep doo-doo. The only thing that is keeping the Democrat Party alive and viable is the media, and the media is lying to everybody. I think one of the reasons why so many college students and Democrats and leftists are genuinely unhinged is they believe the BS that passes for the news every day. They believe it. They treat it as gospel. And the media lied to them about the Clinton campaign. The media lied to them about the polling of the presidential election. The media is lying to them about the electoral strength and potential of the Democrat Party. They're just misrepresenting things, and they are lying to them about various characteristics and personality traits of Donald Trump, and they're creating an entire portion of this country that is clinically on the road to insanity, or just shy of it. I mean, this little tidbit here from Yale. This is incredible. Yale psychiatrists just warned that there is something seriously wrong with Donald Trump. Let me read this again. They're the words of James Gilligan, psychiatrist and professor at New York University. And he's talking about Trump. I've worked with murderers and rapists. I can recognize dangerousness from a mile away. You don't have to be an expert on dangerousness or spend 50 years studying it like I have in order to know how dangerous this man is. Now, this guy's comments were one of many from a group of psychiatrists who gathered at Yale School of Medicine last Thursday. The message presented was that Donald Trump is mentally unfit to be in the White House. Didn't Hillary Clinton try that already? Yes, she did. She did. Mentally unfit was damn well part of what she meant. Unstable, unfit, not the right temperament. This is all they've got. They cannot even take Trump to town on policy. They try to. But they lose on virtually every prospect that comes up, except in their citadels, like New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles. Dr. John Gartner, practicing psychiatrist and founding member of Duty to Warn, which is a group of several dozen mental health professionals who feel it's their obligation to inform the public about the president's mental state, say the warning signs have been there from the beginning. Worse than just being a liar or a narcissist. In addition, Trump is paranoid, delusional, suffers grandiose thinking, and he proved that to the country the first day he was president. Proved all that the first day he was president. This guy, Gartner, started a petition calling for Trump to be removed from office earlier this year. It has 47,000 signatures, which is not many, folks, compared to how hard they're working to get them and how long the effort has been underway. While we're on the subject of psychiatrists, let me find something. Yes! This is a story from LifeSite News. Thaddeus Beklinski is the writer here. A prominent Toronto psychiatrist has severely criticized the assumptions underlying what has been dubbed by critics as the Canadian federal government's bathroom bill, which up there is called Bill C-279. It's a private member's bill that would afford special protection to so-called transgender men and women. The prominent Toronto psychiatrist is Dr. Joseph Berger, and he has issued a statement saying that from a medical and scientific perspective, there is no such thing as a transgendered person, and that terms such as gender expression and gender identity used in the Canadian bill are at the very least ambiguous and are more an emotional appeal than a statement of scientific fact. Dr. Joseph Berger, who is a consulting psychiatrist in Toronto and whose list of credentials establishes him as an expert in the field of mental illness, stated that people who identify themselves as transgendered are mentally ill or simply unhappy. And he pointed out that hormone therapy and surgery are not appropriate treatments for psychosis and unhappiness. He said, from a scientific perspective, let me clarify what transgendered actually means. I'm speaking now about the scientific perspective, not any political lobbying position that may be proposed by any group, medical or non-medical. Transgendered are people who claim that they really are or wish to be people of the sex opposite to which they were born, or to which their chromosomal configuration attests. Sometimes some of these people have claimed that they are a woman trapped in a man's body, or alternatively a man trapped in a woman's body. The medical treatment of delusions, psychosis, or emotional happiness is not surgery. Now, he's not the first. The emeritus head of the mental illness psychiatry department at Johns Hopkins University has written and published and said the same thing. And I remember reporting it when he did say it. It's going on now to over a year. And I thought, shortly after I read on this program what he said, that there would be hell to pay. And there wasn't any reaction to it that I was made aware of, which is unusual. I mean, normally when you voice the words of a scientist critical of a popular left-wing notion of the day, they come out of the woodwork and go nuts and try to discredit whoever it is that is saying it and whoever is passing it on. In this case, it would have been me passing it on. Not a word. It's stunning. And he said the exact same thing as this guy's saying. It's a mental illness. We need to treat these people with compassion. We don't need to be performing surgery on them. This is not, you can't cure mental illness with surgery. You can't cure delusions with surgery. And he went further and actually assigned blame to the entire culture here for promoting this. Well, now, why do you think that happens? Because it's a voting block for the Democrat Party. That's why it's been politicized. And it has been politicized and lumped in with the gay movement. LGBT, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. And you know, when the militant gay community succeeded, as they did, in redefining the term marriage, what was there left to protest? What was there left to get? So they adopted the transgender movement as the next focus of discrimination and mistreatment, mean-spiritedness, extremism, what have you, and have become big champions. And it is this type of minority that the Democrat Party has overthrown white working-class voters for, and instead is trying to amass a voting coalition made up of all these minorities, but they can't win doing that. They're a little bit ahead of the game. The demographic shift that everybody has been eagerly anticipating, that being when whites are no longer the minority of America, that's still some years off. If current trends can, they just got a head start on it and they miscalculated. And the Democrats just admitted that they were casting aside white working class voters, which in many cases had used to be their base. They call their base blue collar, but white working class Americans, many of them were union members. Many of them had voted Democrat. These are the famous Reagan Democrats that Reagan also converted. So here's a group of psychiatrists claiming Trump is dangerous and unfit for office, and we have another one in Canada saying that transgenderism is a mental illness and it's a delusion, and it doesn't need to be treated politically as a minority, and it certainly doesn't need to be treated with surgery.